Centoya Brown was convicted of murder at just 16.
I am a completely different person. If you let me out, I will never go back to being that person.
Her dream of freedom now denied, as the Tennessee Supreme Court ruled Thursday that Brown will become eligible for parole after her 69th birthday.
You may be familiar with the story of Centoya Brown. I have covered her case extensively in the past, and just last week, Tennessee Supreme Court ruled she would have to serve 51 years before she is eligible for release. 51 years. For a crime she committed as a sexually enslaved 16-year-old.
I've been able to help people, which is amazing. Young people.
Meanwhile, Jeffrey Epstein, a billionaire serial sex offender, was given a year in a private wing of a county jail for sexually assaulting several teenage girls. This is why I do what I do, because when you put these two stories next to each other, it just shows the failures of this system. Standing alone, Centoya's case is one laced with tragedy from the very beginning. From an early age, she was subject to verbal, physical, and sexual abuse.
I remember one time, the first time he did something to me is when he choked me and I passed out. Because he said I thought he was a joke.
At the age of 16, a 43-year-old Nashville realtor, Johnny Mitchell Allen, paid to have sex with her.
She killed 43-year-old Johnny Allen after she said he offered to pay her for sex. During the trial, Brown said she feared the older man was going to kill her.
Tanya Stafford is a human trafficking survivor who drove from Dallas, Texas to support Brown.
It could have been me because I had those thoughts. I didn't act upon them. But when my perpetrator, I had those thoughts.
And in 2004, despite being only 16, she was tried as an adult for killing Allen. But when you place her case next to that of billionaire and convicted molester Jeffrey Epstein, the failures of our current system become even more apparent. Epstein is a serial sex offender who abused girls who were younger than Centoya at the time of her crime. But unlike Centoya, Epstein was not hit with the full wrath of the book, because he happens to have a book of his own that is more powerful than any law or legislation in the current justice system. A checkbook with endless zeros.
Talk of, quote, orgy island, where he would fly very powerful people to an island to have sex with underage women.
Back in 2005, Epstein was accused of sexually assaulting a teenage girl in his Palm Beach home. Now we know the accusations continue to add up. But equipped with the best lawyers in the business and an exclusive membership to the Billionaires Boys Club, Epstein was able to negotiate a non-prosecution agreement that afforded him an absurdly lenient sentence. Just over a year in the county jail. Well, sort of. Epstein was actually allowed to stay in a vacant wing of the jail and spend up to 12 hours a day in his office, 6 days a week. The agreement called for him to plead guilty to 2 state charges of soliciting prostitution, pay restitution to some of the alleged victims, and to register as a sex offender, which in itself is absurd considering under Florida law, someone under 18 can't consent to sex and therefore can't technically be a prostitute. A law that wasn't in place during Centoya's case, but has since changed. Now in Tennessee, anyone 18 or younger cannot even be charged with prostitution, and that change in law came about because of Centoya Brown's case. Still, it has done little to help her. But hey, why help a traumatized, sexually abused woman when you can literally bend the law to help a platinum member of the country club? At the time, many of Epstein's alleged victims were children and likely unaware of their rights, similar to Centoya during her case. But now fully informed adults, many of the women abused by Epstein, perhaps energized by the Me Too